Before I begin, I just wanted to say that any negative comments against me will result in having your comment removed and your screen name possibly blocked if you do not remedy this negative comment with a second positive comment. This is going to be my second take on this. I'm going to try and speed through this. Part of me is wondering why I'm doing this, because I figure that a lot of people don't bother paying attention to these ratings. But I figure for those of you that may not know exactly what they mean, this will be informal. This will be informative. But again, I'm going to try and speed through this. You can get a more detailed look at it. I'm going to give you the link to the website. But I don't want to go over the 10-minute time limit, and last time I went 30 seconds over. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm just going to go straight into what each rating means and the descriptors. And again, you can get a much more detailed overview of this on the website that I will provide a link to. This is from the Entertainment Software Rating Board, and they rate computer and video games. Early childhood titles rated EC have content that may be suitable for ages 3 and older. Contains no material that parents would find inappropriate. Dora the Explorer would be an example of this. Everyone titles rated Everyone have content that may be suitable for ages 6 and older. Titles in this category may contain minimal cartoon, fantasy, or mild violence, and or infrequent use of mild language. An example of this would be the Zelda franchise, with the exception of Twilight Princess and Mario Galaxy and Mario Kart Wii. Everyone 10 and up. Titles rated Everyone 10 and up have content that may be suitable for ages 10 and older. Titles in this category may contain more cartoon, fantasy, or mild violence, mild language, and or minimal suggestive themes. Excuse me. I do not have an example of this title on me. An example of this type of game on me for titles. Teen. Titles rated teen have content that may be suitable for ages 13 and older. Titles in this category may contain violence, suggestive themes, crude humor, minimalistic blood, simulated gaming, and or infrequent use of strong language. I just wanted to make a correction that is supposed to be minimal blood. Mature. Titles rated M mature have content that may be suitable for persons ages 17 and older. Titles in this category may contain intense violence, blood, and gore, sexual content, and or strong language. Adults only. Oh, by the way, an example of a teen game would be Crazy Taxi. An example of an M-rated game would be Grand Theft Auto. Adults only. Titles rated adults only have content that should only be played by persons 18 years and older. Titles in this category may include prolonged scenes of intense violence and or graphic sexual content and nudity. Rating pending, and there are no AO games that I know of. Rating pending. Titles listed as RP have been submitted to the ESRB and are awaiting final rating. This symbol appears only in advertising prior to the game's release. ESRB content descriptors. Alcohol reference. Reference to and or images of alcoholic beverages. Animated blood. Discolored blood and or unrealistic depictions of blood. Again, that's unrealistic depictions of blood. Blood. Just blood without anything else. Depictions of blood. Blood and gore. Depictions of blood or the mutilation of body parts. I apologize for rushing, but I want to get under the 10-minute time limit and add my thoughts at the end. Cartoon violence. Violent actions involving cartoon-like situations and characters. May include violence where a character is unharmed after the action has been inflicted. And again, I will be providing a link to the ESRB's website where all this information can be found. Comic mischief. Depictions or dialogue involving slapstick or suggestive humor. Crude humor. Depictions or dialogue involving vulgar antics, including bathroom humor. Drug reference. Reference to and or images of illegal drugs. Fantasy violence. Violent actions of a fantasy nature involving human or non-human characters in situations easily distinguishable from real life. Intense violence. Graphic and realistic-looking depictions of physical conflict. It may involve extreme and or realistic blood, gore, weapons, and depictions of human injury and death. Language. Mild to moderate use of profanity. Lyrics. Mild reference to profanity, sexuality, violence, alcohol, or drug use in music. Mature humor. Depictions or dialogue involving adult humor, including sexual references. Nudity. Graphic or prolonged depictions of nudity. Partial nudity. Brief and or mild depictions of nudity. Real gambling. Player can gamble, including betting or wagering, real cash or currency. Sexual content. Non-explicit depictions of sexual behavior, possibly including partial nudity. Sexual themes. Reference to sex or sexuality. Sexual violence. Depictions of rape or other violent sexual acts. Simulated gambling. Player can gamble without betting or wagering real cash or currency. Strong language. Explicit and or frequent use of profanity. Strong lyrics. Explicit and or frequent references to profanity, sex, violence, alcohol, or drug use in music. Strong sexual content. Explicit and or frequent depictions of sexual behavior, possibly including nudity. Suggestive themes. Mild provocative references or materials. Tobacco reference. Reference to and or images of tobacco products. Use of drugs. The consumption or use of illegal drugs. Use of alcohol. The consumption of alcoholic beverages. Use of tobacco. The consumption of tobacco products. Violence. Scenes involving aggressive conflict. May contain bloodless dismemberment. May contain bloodless dismemberment. Violent references to violent acts. Note, when a content descriptor is preceded by the term mild, it is intended to convey low frequency, intensity, or severity of the content it modifies. And again, I will be providing a link to all of this so that you can get some information on it. Well, the good news is I'm about 3 minutes short of the 10-minute limit, so I can go ahead and provide my input like I wanted. Personally, I'm not all for the M-rated games. I'll admit that I did watch a couple of movie scenes from Grand Theft Auto, and the beginning stories to the missions, the movie-like scenes. They were interesting, but I don't know if I would buy it. I'm really up in the air about it. M-rated games really aren't my thing. Excuse me. But yeah, M-rated games are not really my thing. I prefer E, E10, or T-rated games. Really, that's the best I can think of in terms of what games I like. Examples of which that I'm going to get would be Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart Wii, which are everyone, and Lara Croft Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition for the Wii, which is teen. And I don't know if anything that on my list that's rated E10 and up, and I do not want to go through all of my games one by one to try and find if any of them has it. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is you can choose to ignore the content ratings if you want, but if you know somebody who has a child, I would very strongly encourage the parents of that child to take a look at these ratings and take a close look at them. Maybe even, if you can at all, like at a GameStop, for example, ask the shopkeep if you can go ahead, install the game that they're interested in purchasing on the console that's there for demonstration. I saw in the store at GameStop a few weeks ago, one of the workers had put in a game in the Xbox that wasn't originally there, so that this kid could play it. Ask to see if you can do that, so that you can play the game and actually watch the game before buying it. Or look at video reviews here on YouTube just to see what the content is like. But that's just my little message. I think that these ratings should be adhered to. I mean, if you're an adult, you can choose to ignore it if you wish. But if you know somebody who's a parent, and you should definitely ask them to take a look at these ratings very closely, especially the teen and the M-rated games, because games are no longer for kids. They've got M-rated games. Grand Theft Auto is clearly for adults, and so is God of War Chains of Olympus, also clearly for adults. There are also kid-friendly games that are for everyone, but there are also adult-only games like Grand Theft Auto. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.